those passes early. Except broken out. Ren! Knocked down and in, finds his way through finally to tie up the game.
The tenacity from Ren here, battling through Voldy in order to get a quick turnaround, and Voldy has been really reliable on the Mustangs' back end all game.
On his backhand, down low. He's down low, looking for the wraparound. Oh! Oh my goodness, a backward save. Lights out for sure. McFaddy said no.
Oh my goodness.
Ren now. Ren in for the home squad. Leads out of the sub-8. Now Bad Santa, good turnover to start his debut. Over to the Harry Wookie. He's alone. He shoots. He scores. It's the Harry Wookie. Who else to score a huge goal for the Fire Ants? Nice play by Bad Santa. Gets the Harry Wookie free, and that is...
Test, stick handling down the ice, waiting for his teams to get into the opposing zone, and he scores! Lenski with a nice shot, and I think a deflection.
Hoping to go all the way. A shot by Ren! And off of the body of Mc...
If the puck finds an opponent's stick in front of the net, the goalie is just sitting there throwing himself at the player and hoping that he blocks it. And most of the time, that's not going to happen.
Oh, and they're playing tennis. Goes off ahead of Quicksilver. Now it's going to turn into a chance. D down. Oh, good save by Rampage. Rebound. The score! Early in the game.
A little bit past Custom. Hopefully pass back to the slot. Smasher getting it. Ripping it on target. And past Aki.
Absolutely phenomenal pass by Custom going against the grain back to Smasher, and something I wanted to point
In front of him, Jack Cross takes it out himself. He's got a shot at center. He'll take the shot himself here, and it scores!
Look at this.
And the Galaxy enter!
What a start. And that's what you want from a strong captain. Big response here for Fly and his crew. Walks in. Oh, man. Doesn't get any better than that. The Gold Trader tries, but when you have a shot like Fly, there's no chance for the goalie.
Wow, we're not going to have a goalie duel, let me tell you. Wiggles here.
Do there is to spin around, have your team get it out, and that's exactly what they do.
Keeping his composure, not an easy thing to do when the puck is sitting on the line. You know, with a free move!
Oh, man.
Oh my God, he scored that one! How does he do it? A commanding early game lead here for the Toucans against the division
What
leading
a
Galaxy.
start. You know, just look at players who, you know, it's not just like the hand-eye skill, it's just the teamwork, too, to land those and comms. Now here's Fly, a shot, score! It's Fly for the visitors, 1-0.
Such an awful feeling, especially letting a goal as a goalie.
It's evil. Stamkos whipping around trying to get a wrap and almost tucked in! Stamkos saying no shutout for you, Sleepy. Not able to cut that attack away in time. And Mouse.
Mouse getting into the blue pink little call for again. I don't think that's gonna work though, because I don't think he had a chance, but shout out to Mouse though, getting in the very earliest.
I know. Just grind him down puck for Mouse. Getting into the pressured by Van Higgy. This could get dangerous. A drop past Kim Jim there. Aki's not there. Ren's in the net. And Ren not able to stop it.
Did Ren get a piece of this? Did he almost make this save?
It really looks...
Absolutely. Now Jyler looking to start a 2-on-1 and Smasher again! He scores! What a play!
That's a beautiful shot here from Smasher. He puts that off the far post. Nothing Hot Dog Flaps can do there. That is such a good shot on the backhand for a lefty. Don't see that too often in puck, and that kind of confuses.
Smasher again! Oh!
Covering those passes early. Except broken out. Ren! Knocked down and in, finds his way through finally to tie up the game.
The tenacity from Ren here, battling through Voldy in order to get a quick turnaround, and Voldy has been really reliable on the Mustangs' back end all game.
On his backhand, down low. He's down low, looking for the wraparound. Oh! Oh my goodness, a backward save. Lights out for sure. McFaddy said no.
Oh my
Ren now. Ren in for the home squad. I believe that was a sub made. Now Bad Santa, good turnover to start his debut. Over to the Harry Wookie. He's alone. He shoots. He scores. It's the Harry Wookie. Who else to score a huge goal for the Fire Ants? Nice play by Bad Santa. Gets the Harry Wookie free, and that is...
Test, stick handling down the ice, waiting for his teams to get into the opposing zone, and he scores! Klensky with a nice shot, and I think a deflection.
Hoping to go all the way. A shot by Ren! And off of the body of Mc...
If a puck finds an opponent's stick in front of the net, the goalie is just sitting there throwing himself at the player and hoping that he blocks it. And most of the time, that's not going to happen.
Oh, and they're playing tennis. Goes off the head of Quicksilver. Now it's going to turn into a chance. D down. Oh, good save by Rampage. Rebound. They score! Early in the game.
A little bit past Custom. Hopefully a pass back to the slot. Smasher getting it. Ripping it on target. And
What a
past
play.
Aki.
Absolutely phenomenal pass by Custom going against the grain back to Smasher, and something I wanted to point
In front of him, and Jack Cross takes it out himself. He's a guy.
He gets it in! It's gonna be tight here. It's in! Oh my god! Goalie goal! Goalie goal! Goalie goal! Where do we find these guys? He's going, and he's got it!
Hello and welcome to the PHL on the Puck Hockey League 2 channel on Twitch. My name's Jack. I'll be your host for the night. I'm with Log.
What is
Log,
up?
what should we expect in this matchup?
I'm looking for a really, really tight matchup tonight as I look through my settings. There we go. Looking for a really, really tight matchup. This division, to be honest, is a lot closer than the other two divisions in points. Aside from the team we're looking at, actually, the Calabasas Camel Crushers only have 11 points, but up there at the top, it is a logjam. We got the Beavers in first place, but only leading by 1 point. They have 23 points. They're barely ahead of the Liberty with 22 points. And, for the Camel Crushers, like I said, they only have 11 points, but I think they're a lot better team than what it says on paper. So I think we're in for a really, really tight matchup. Alright, I am super excited, by the way. I have so many buttons to push now because Deflator upgraded me to the nicer setup. There we go. There is the screen.
So we get our player highlight. This is Trev on the... I apologize, I'm blanking on the team name.
He's going to be on the Camel Crushers. They're at home today.
So the Camel Crushers, this is Trev. He was drafted first overall by the captain, Mike Giordano. Trev, you can see the handles he has. He's been ranked so highly among his peers. I'm really looking forward to see what he has tonight.
Yeah, me too. Actually, if you want to just check real quick, make sure Mike Fordano is also on the blue team. Because last time, funny story, last time I actually did a Camel Crushers game, the teams had the jersey numbers or jersey colors backwards, so the whole scoreboard was backwards.
We do have the Camel Crushers
There we
in
go.
blue. Puck drop is set. And it's underway. The puck comes out to the Albany Beavers, but it's quickly cut off and carried into the zone. Sent in front for Meat Sale, but it just behind him as he was spinning around in front of the crease.
It's a great read earlier in the game. Unlucky for them, they weren't able to connect on that pass.
Now it's Meat Sale spinning it towards the net. Sticked aside by John. Frogty will chase after it against Meat Sale. Meat Sale's going to win that race. And he tries to cut back to the slot, but it comes off his stick out to the line for Chad. All the way out to DeBeasy with a long backhander.
Oh,
Stick
wow.
down. Rebound. Score!
Oh, my goodness.
Carr!
What a play. I was about to say, so much open ice for these teams so far. The puck has a lot of room to move. And Carr, he's one of those guys that knows where to be at all times. He finds the backdoor tap-in.
Carr crashing the net. Gets the lucky bounce off of John's stick. And he's able to capitalize to make it 1-0 Beavers.
So the Beavers, top of the division with the commanding start. They lead 1-0 and they have 3 shots.
Now it's Trev. And it's quickly swatted away by Meat Sale. All the way down, Frogty recollects in his own zone for the Camel Crushers. Pops out to the
Ooh, look
slot,
out
but
there.
Frogty handles that. Look out, indeed. That was coming right to Meat Sale, and he had to be alert to keep that. Now Meat Sale's working in with Carr. Meat Sale could have a breakaway. Meat Sale stick aside by John.
Great save by John. He reads that beautifully. Those saves are harder than they look.
Meat Sale tries a stuff play that wouldn't go. He gets it back behind the net with Carr out in front, but Frogty's going to get there, stick it aside. And Carr came in to try and help Meat Sale, but Meat Sale gets it in a spin around shot stopped by Chad, or rather stopped by John, and Chad collects the rebound.
Stopped by Chad. I sure hope not. I hope it's John in that, but man, the Beavers coming on hard. They got 5 shots already, and we're not even halfway through this period.
It's been all Beavers. The Camel Crushers just absolutely helpless with the puck. They haven't had really any possession time. Carr
Oh my goodness!
John came up big on Meat Sale twice.
John is keeping them in this game. This could be 4-0 right now, but John is in the crease and he says no again.
John, one of the highest ranked goaltenders. Meat Sale gets it deep again. John is a very high ranked goaltender. He was without a doubt one of the best goaltenders in the world just a couple seasons ago. People have said that, you know, he's got some competition now. The gap wasn't really close, but now with the likes of Zebra and Sleepy, they're closing in on him. But he's kept his ground. He's been able to stay sharp among these games and still be able to come up big for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the best players, the best careers, they're always going to have up and downs. It's never going to be perfect. And you got to show resilience. And I think John has done exactly that.
Struck to the net, stick aside by Yeesh, another top-ranked goaltender. As we're nearing the final 2 minutes of the first period, Glenn collects it in his own zone for the Camel Crushers. Carries it out to center with Frogty on his left and Mike on his right. He's going to poke it to his right with Mike rotating back. He gets around DeBeasy, sends it in front past the stick of Mike. Trev cuts to the slot. Backhander blocked at the barrel by Carr.
Man, great puck movement by Glenn. Great eyes. He's like a Sharpie going across a Post-it note, walking through the ice, and he generates that great chance.
I'm not sure how he got past DeBeasy there. That was a beautiful move he made to get deep in the zone and then try and send it out in front, but nothing would go. The Camel Crushers getting some looks there, and they're going to get another one here. Trev holds it at center with Mike in front of him. He's going to hold on to it. Cuts to the slot. A long shot. Stick
Great
aside,
block.
and Yeesh handles that. Carr ahead to Meat Sale. Cut off by Trev. Storms into the zone, but it's sticked aside by Carr again. A beautiful defensive play, and he sends it ahead to Meat Sale with DeBeasy on his left, or rather on his right, and Carr on his left. Meat Sale takes it into the zones, double teamed by Mike and Trev, but Meat Sale gets it back. Flips it in front, but Glenn handles that and pokes it to the side of Chad.
Ooh, look out.
One stretch pass. just under the stick of Mike.
Camel Crushers
would've had a
starting to get
clear-cut
their
look.
game, yeah. Starting to get their game back a little bit, slowly turning the tides. We'll see if they can keep the pressure up here.
Long stretch pass almost strung Carr, but he has to chase after it back behind the net. Sends it back on the same boards out to DeBeasy, who tries a long shot that wouldn't go. Meat Sale sends it back behind the net to himself. Stops up, but is checked by Glenn, and it pops out to Trev, who's challenged by DeBeasy. And he sends it in front, but it's sticked aside by John. Way to stay alert there while the play was kind of dying in the corner.
Yeah, great play there, staying alert.
Now it's DeBeasy on the left wall, and that's going to do it for the first period, as it's 1-0 Albany Beavers.
What a period for the
held
Beavers.
onto it.
Well, the Camel Crushers, give them credit, they started coming back there a little bit with puck possession, but the Beavers leading 7 shots to 2. The Camel Crushers are lucky, and they should be thankful for their goalie to keep them in this game so far. What a performance by John.
They need to relieve this pressure to start the second period. You know, it's a new period, it's a new look, and it's puck drop on period 2. Mike wins it against Meat Sale, and Frog T gets it deep. DeBeasy now. And it's sent on the wall from Chad to Carr. Back in their own zone, the Beavers will recollect and send it out to Meat Sale just over his head, but he corrals it anyway. What a play by Meat Sale to chop it out of the air. Wins the race against Mike. Tries to send it in front. What a pass. Chad couldn't handle it, though.
Oh, man.
Out to Trev. Calabasas trying to tie this game. Trev, first overall pick. Blocked at the barrel by Chad.
Great block. Denies a great scoring chance for Trev. As you said, picked first overall. He's showing it off there.
Meat Sale has Carr streaking. Meat Sale finds Carr on the breakaway. Stopped by John.
What an electric save there by John to keep his team still in the game. The Beavers bringing it on in the second period here, just like the first.
Sent in front to Beasley on the left wall. Looks over his options. Sends it deep to Carr. Carr across. Meat Sale will chase. And he walks it in deep. Tries to send it in front, but that was blocked by Frog T. Now it's Chad. Chipping it back in deep. Trying to cut out front, but Frog T was there. He sends it in front. Carr shot! Another stop by John.
Yeah, John really
Sends it
quick
back
there
at
to
the
go
wall.
close
Meat
to
Sale.
post.
Across.
Oh!
Chad. No!
Can you believe that? Post to post twice. John's moving around like a... I don't even know what he's moving around like, but he's moving quick.
This stamina management from John has been absolutely fantastic. He's been able to dash over to everything they've given him.
I was going to say he's like a beaver in the water, but he's played against a beaver, so I can't call him a beaver. Oh, man! John almost got a stick there. It wasn't necessary, but he almost hit that.
Carr out to Chad. Meat Sale down the slot. Shoots. He scores!
What a shot. You know the dam's going to break eventually. What an effort, though, by John to keep his team in it. But Albany just keeps coming with the heat. Someone's on the ground there, but it doesn't matter. The puck's in the back of the net. Hits the twine.
John swinging and missing at that puck as it was shot low blocker side where his blocker would be if he had arms. But that was just a great seeing eye shot to get that puck right under the stick of John, who's come up big with that stick many times in this game already. And it's 2-0 Beavers.
Yeah, commanding start by the Beavers. Looking to get some room in the standings there.
Glenn back on the wall. Trev works to the slot, tries to send it deep, but it was deflected away by the defender. And now it's chipped back high and deep by Trev. He's pressured by DeBeasy. And it comes all the way out to this corner now. It's sent back in deep on a stick from Glenn. And Chad will race after it with Mike. Sent deep for Meat Sale, who's racing Frog T for the puck, and he gets it back. With Carr going to the net, he tries to send it out to the line for DeBeasy, and Mike broke that up.
You gotta wonder what they're saying in the Camel Crushers bench there. They only have 2 shots in this game. They're starting to work the puck over the blue line a little bit, but it's just not been enough. The visitors' blocking ability in the defense has been fantastic.
This game is being played in Calabasas, so the Camel Crushers down 2-0 at their home crowd. and you'd want to see something different if you paid good money to get in these seats.
Yeah, it might be like a Leafs game here, throwing jerseys on the ice soon. It's been a rough start to the season for the Camel Crushers.
They were gifted with the first overall pick, and it hasn't really. The other draft picks, the team really hasn't had a whole lot of identity here, and they're looking to change that quick. And they've gotten their looks. I don't think this is the best matchup to say any of that, though. This Albany Beavers team is without a doubt the best team in this league. They're in first place and have only lost 3 games.
Yeah, 7-1-0-2. That is a record. Kind of like the very parallel to the Calgary Galaxy record, just dominance.
Yeah, of the division of the
Division
second
2,
division.
yeah.
Oh, and the crease right through the pads of John. Meatsail was crashing, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Unanticipated play.
Did you see that? It went right through that tiny little wicket of space there. John thought he had it fully covered. I guess not. And he catches a break. It goes through the blue paint.
We'll have Division 2 action for you tomorrow on the second game day of this week.
Yeah, how entertaining those games have been in all 3 divisions, not just the pro division. It's been entertaining all around. So you're basically getting entertaining puck hockey 7 days a week here.
Lead pass, Trev.
Look out.
Yeesh coming out to challenge. Yeesh wins it. What a play by Yeesh.
Yeesh, I think he's known for coming out of the crease like that to challenge. I may be able to say I've scored a goal on him once by him coming out, but, I'm in the booth and he's on the ice for a reason.
I mean, you can't get too down on yourself. I mean, you managed to put the puck in the net against a skilled goaltender. That still goes on your resume.
Hey, man, I'll take it. But, you mentioned earlier about this Camel Crushers team struggling. They have the players. They have the skill, in my opinion. If I were them, I would make some noise and make a splash in the trade market. Just get some fresh faces, try and get some different looks, different lines, and they might find success.
Yeah, I completely agree. There might be some players that just haven't been able to click, for better terms, or for lack of better terms.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I don't know if you want to see the starters switched up, or if there's somebody from the bench that should come in. But I think something might need to change, or they could just stick with their roster and string together a couple games. We're really early in the season, but there's plenty of time for a mounting comeback.
I'll tell you who they're not trading is John. Unless they get a big package for him, I would not see him go.
John has just been absolutely starful in this game today.
Yeah.
Chad gets it back in deep. Meatsail. These are the Beavers with offensive zone pressure. Meatsail down the slot. Shoots. Blocked by Trev.
Great block by Trev. Great eyes to go and cut the slot off like that.
Mike ahead, Glenn across, Trev chasing after it. And he's going to carry it, into the zone. He wins the race against Meatsail and DeBeasy. What a play. He sends it back on the same wall. DeBeasy's challenging Glenn for it, and he chips it over Glenn's head.
Looks like we got some Frog Tea fans here in the chat. Hopefully I'll get him going.
Yeah, Frog Tea is great at what he does. He's kind of a guy that's trying to get under your skin. The Brad Marchand type. And he's great at what he does. He will terrorize his opponents to no end, and perhaps he's doing that to these Albany Beavers, but they've been able to break through it, and they have the 2-0 lead early.
Oh, look out.
Meatsail taken away in the slot. John dashing all over the place, but Meatsail couldn't get a shot off on a great back check from Frog Tea.
Oh, what a deke. Just one of those moments where, he's got great hands, but maybe just one too many moves there. Should have shot a little earlier, in my opinion. And
Another shot stopped. Meatsail robbed by John again. He dashed the wrong way initially, but easily came back and made the save. Or at least he makes it look easy.
Great recovery.
That guy is just fantastic in that crease.
Yeah.
Carr backhanded ahead to Meatsail. Cuts around Frog Tea. Trev looking all over the place. Meatsail in the slot. A shot. Mask save by John.
Fantastic save. He can use every part of his armless body to make a save, and he's showing that off in this contest.
And I just want to go back to Frog Tea. He's kind of at the backhand here. He's playing defense most of this game, but he has the hands.
He does.
Been really improving over these past few weeks, and I could see him really starting to have an impact on the offense as well. But he's been great while they were in their defensive zone.
Yeah, I think for a couple of players, like if they stay on the roster for the Camel Crushers, it's only, a matter of time before the light bulb clicks and they start popping off.
It could just be a matter of chemistry.
True.
A lot of these players haven't played together before, ever. And it's tough to just start playing with people. Initially, you kind of feel that lack of identity.
Yeah.
You just kind of feel like you're a bunch of players on one team. But eventually, you'll come to find that you're playing for the name on the front, not the name on the back.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting that.
Sticked ahead to Carr, but Trev wins that race in his own zone. 1:30 left in this third period. Calabasas needs to find something here, or they're going to drop this first game in regulation. Meat sail ahead. Carr in the slot. Couldn't get a shot off as it went right through the crease.
Boy, you are right about that. They still only have 2 shots in this game, which is pretty unbelievable.
They spent rather the whole game in the defensive zone. Frog T showing off his hands, as I said, gets around Carr, tries to send it deep, but DeBeese is able to deflect his pass away. Centered for Glenn. And a great stick by DeBeese, breaks it up from behind.
The defense just closes and crashes in on him there in the slot. That's a great defensive recovery there.
Comes out to Trev, and he got a heavy touch. It goes into the corner for Chad. 45 seconds down in the first period, or rather 45 seconds left in the first period, I should say. Glenn at center, right on the PHL logo, and it's taken away by Mike in his own zone. Tries to get it back in deep for Trev and does. Back behind the net by Yeesh. Miesel sticks it aside, 30 seconds to go. Comes out to Mike at the line with a long shot over the net. And Glenn now, from the right point, sends it in front, right over the crease. In the slot, Yeesh comes out to play it, and he pokes it out of the zone.
Risky play by Yeesh there. Imagine if they get to the backhand and he gives that up and it's 2-1.
But it pays off. 10 seconds to go. This game should be over. Mietzel wants one more. Backdoor easy under his stick, but it's going to do it anyway. The Albany Beavers come away with a 2-0 win in game 1 and get the 3 points.
Well, the Beavers looking to beat them while they're down there with that last play, but no luck. The defense finally helps out John there.
Teams content to enter warm-up. I don't think we'll see any substitutions here from the Albany Beavers. You may be able to anticipate a change for the Camel Crushers, although they may like what they saw at the end of that period and try and keep that going. It doesn't really matter how you start the period, but if you end it on a good note, you really just want to try and carry that into the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like they're staying in warm-up here. If we have a second... Let's see if I got it. I don't know if you saw that Division 2 matchup with the Jint call in that game. That was a debate.
Especially letting in a goal as the goal.
Yeah, I was... unfortunately, I wasn't able to...
Stamkos whipping around trying to get a wrap and almost tucked in. Stamkos saying, no shutout for you, Sleepy. Not able to cut that attack away in time.
The right call.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to say. But crazy how that one call could totally change the outcome of the team's season or even just the team's next couple games.
So with the... that might have killed some of his energy. It's tough to get into a second game after showing up so much in the first one. At least for me, it is. These guys are on a whole nother level. This could easily be another star-studded game for the Beavers, but John's really looking to take that away again.
Yeah, I agree. He has been a absolute brick wall. I almost said a rock wall, but that wouldn't have made sense. He's a brick wall so far, and I could see him keeping that up in this next game. The Camel Crushers really need to change something up. Excuse me. Well, yeah, the Camel Crushers need to change something up defensively to help him out a little bit. But aside from that, he has done the job.
So Carr and Meatsail get the goals in game 1 in a 2-0 win. Carr is the only player on the Beavers that had a 2-point game. It was Carr with a goal and an assist from Chad, a goal from Meatsail, and an assist from DeBeese, and a goalie assist from Yeesh.
Yeah, Carr has some silky mitts, so I am not surprised by that scoreboard at all. I'm surprised he doesn't have more points.
And, you know, Carr, he had his hesitations about signing up for this tournament in the very beginning, but it's really paying off for him, and I'm really glad he did, because this is a great showing of his skill.
Yeah, and he will be back next season, whether playoffs this season or next season, whenever, he will be back. He's one of those guys.
So the teams are looking nearly ready to start this game. Just getting their final touches, and, you know, Carr still has yet to step onto this ice for the warm-up. I'm wondering if he's, you know, getting a drink of water, maybe just, you know, taking some deep breaths. It's nice to get a good reset after a game, no matter if you came out on top. It's a clean canvas for both teams, and you want to try and make another impact here.
Yeah, I agree. You don't want to go in with any, you know, whether you won or lost, like you said, you don't want to go in with any loose emotions that could negatively affect your game, especially when the next team, you know, the team you're playing, they might change up the way they play completely.
So we should get the same lineups. It will be John in net, Frog T and Trev on defense, with Mike and Glenn playing forward. And I can't help but assume the same for Carr playing on the wing, although he is currently not on the ice. It will be Meat Sail at center, DeBeezy and Chad on defense, with Yeesh backing them up between the pipes. And yes, Carr comes onto the ice. He will be the left wing. The puck drop is set. And we're ready for game 2.
We are ready. So
Camel Crushers.
A quick update, real quick.
I apologize. Go ahead.
The Beavers, as they won that game, they take 3 points. They're at 26 points now, getting a little lead. Oh, it looks like a false draw, maybe?
False face-off. You know, these refs really got to do their job and just drop it on time.
Yeah, I don't know. They're terrible, man. They get paid even less than us, and I don't think we get paid, so...
Yeah, I actually think they pay to be here, and they still can't do a great job, so...
Says a lot.
Glenn for the Crushers, the Camel Crushers, backhanding it in deep. DeBeezy will collect and backhand it off the glass and out. Trev cuts it off, stops Carr from getting a breakaway. And Trev stick handling through center, showing off those mitts, showing off the reason he was drafted first overall. Slight poke check from Carr, and Trev collects again.
Yeah, really silky mitts by him early in the game, showing off what he's got. Could make a statement for his team.
Over to this wall, it's Frog T in the offensive zone. The Camel Crushers coming out hot here. Mike behind the net with Glenn in front, but it's taken away by DeBeezy and sent ahead to Chad. Chad back to DeBeezy. Tries to get it to the right side. Meat Sail will win this race.
Someone in chat says hashtag free Tic Tac. I agree. He's one of the, I think it's in Div 2. He's one of the most underrated players. Hands down.
Mike steals it from Meat Sail. Not an easy thing to do. Mike with a long shot, sticked aside by the tip of the blade of Yeesh.
Good save by Yeesh there. So a little different here. The Camel Crushers get the first shot on net in this game.
Yeah, Tic Tac is in the building. He's available to be subbed in, but the teams are both content to keep their lineups.
Is he on one of these teams? Is he in Division 1?
I'm not sure he is, but he's in the building. You know, maybe if you try and get some permission from the commissioner, you might be able to quickly drop a player and get him on the ice. But I'm not sure that'll happen. John in front, or rather Meat Sail in front, right past John. Backhander from Chad was a left pad save from John, and it's sent out to Mike. Streaking ahead, but DeBeezy will cut that off and send it back in deep through Frog T. And now it's in the right corner behind John. Rimmed around, Chad collects, backhands it towards the slot, right through the defender. But Meat Sail was on the other side and couldn't handle it. Played ahead, Mike, right through his stick, and DeBeezy's. Yeesh will come out to clear. And he does. Down to Meat Sail. Up to Carr. John! Stopped again!
What a great stop for John there. On
Carr
a
coming
brick
right
wall
down the
again.
slot. A touch pass from Meat Sail, and Carr was able to get a great quality shot off, but John said no. Frog T around. Trev in his own zone. And it comes out to DeBeezy. DeBeasy fighting Trev for it. It's in the feet of Frog T, and he's able to whack his stick around to get the puck away. Meat Sail in the air towards DeBeasy, looking to baseball back that into the net, but it wouldn't go. Meat Sail sticks away the chance from Trev before it even got to Yeesh. And now it's Meat Sail back behind his net, slowing the play down up the right wall for DeBeasy, who carries it into the zone. Stretch pass for Chad right behind his feet, and Mike will race after him for it. Chad wins the race, but Trev comes in and takes the puck away, gives it to Mike. Mike flips it ahead to Glenn. Glenn tries to touch it back to Trev, but DeBeasy held that and was able to get it back in deep.
Nearly
Chad.
a great setup to Chad there, but Mike, good back check by their captain.
Sent ahead, Yeesh is handling it. Heel back
Careful,
deep.
Yeesh.
He waited for the defender to close in on him. That could have been dangerous for the Albany Beavers, but proven to be nothing. And Trev now will start from his own zone, carries it out to center. He's ahead of Carr. If he hurries, he can get a great quality shot off, but he's content to spin around and backhand it right into the crease, but Yeesh handles that, and Meat Sail now collects for the Albany Beavers.
A little spin
Albany
shot
Beavers
there.
in white, Calabasas in blue. And it's Frog T in his own zone.
We talked in the last game in Division 2, Frogty's in there as well. If his pink stick tape was a curse that was snake biting him, but he scored a huge goal for his team in that game, so I guess we were wrong.
Carr chips it around Frog T, loses the handle. He was working
Oof.
one-on-one, could have had a gorgeous chance, but an unlucky play.
Unlucky for him.
It's chipped ahead to Mike, but that's the end of the period. It's not going to matter.
Yeah, what a chance there at the end of the game. Just kind of mishandled it a little bit, as you said, but would have had a great chance to score there.
So as the clock strikes 9:04, we should have a game between the Halifax Hooks and the Bloomington Wild shortly underway on PHL, on the Puck Hockey League channel, the original channel, as we're streaming this on Puck Hockey League 2. And this is the second period underway. Meat Sail wins the draw and gets it in deep.
Boy, the Halifax Hooks surprising me with some of the names on that team. They're only middle of the pack with 18 points. You'd think they'd have more. But still a fantastic team regardless.
Yeah, the Halifax Hooks, some of the biggest names in the
Yeah.
in the sport, and they were able to string together a couple wins. I think they are quite playing at the level they show in the standings. They have so much potential, though. I can't wait to see how they string together these games towards the end of the season, and even maybe doing something towards the trade deadline, as they already traded their substitute offensive player, Echo. They traded him for, in my opinion, one of the best defenders in the world, Lettuce.
Yeah, that was a huge trade. Lettuce is a guy that, he's very defensive, but he can be all over the ice on both ends of the ice. That's what makes him so good. But when he is, in his natural habitat playing defense, he's just incredible, flipping the puck up high, making those plays, making those outlet passes. He is fantastic.
Frog T to Glenn tried to find Mike back door, but it was broken up by DeBeasy, and he gets it back out. Frog T has been absolutely fantastic in this game so far. He made a great play to get it into center, and then it was collected, and they tried to make a couple more passes, but it was read well by the defense.
This game a lot more even than the first game. Looks like the Camel Crushers have, maybe not offensively yet, but they found their game a little bit, matching the defensive style of the Beavers.
Taken away by Mike.
Look out.
Storms in, and a stick aside by Yeesh. Poke checked again.
It's a great save by Yeesh. Sometimes it's better just to get aggressive with the stick or with your body, and Yeesh shows us that. And why he's honestly one of the best goalies at doing that.
Carr works in, shot over the net high and wide. DeBeasy back behind the net, tries to send it in front, and it's poked back behind the net by Frog T. Camel Crushers looking to create something here, grab an early lead, trying to recover from that, the regulation loss in game 1. They're looking to get some points here. Glenn into the zone, stick aside, and it's sent all the way down.
Nearly had a clean shot there. Good stick by the defense to take that away, though.
Frog T working his way up through center. Hands it off to Glenn. Back to Frog T, who levels Meat Sail as he was passing by.
Got some hot mics going on now. Frog T, as you kind of said, like the Brad Marchand on the Camel Crushers, shows exactly why he's him there.
And he really is able to get under their skin effectively. And even if they don't let him, he's still going to try his hardest every night. And I love that mentality.
Yeah, and chirping, that's something I kind of want to see more from all these teams. You'd be surprised, it can make a difference in the game.
Now, we haven't seen some true rivalries yet, as this league's brand new. But we're gonna, with season 2 in the coming months after this season, which is a long ways away. Trev works into the zone and stick to side by Yeesh. A long ways away, but season 2 we'll see another draft.
With what we saw, I think in the Division 2 games, that's just speaking for Division 2, but I think it can go for every division here. With the Lotus games and then the Galaxy played the Toucans, I think we could see some... Oh! Did he hit the post?
Meat Sail robbed!
Oh, he was robbed. Great save.
Put that right up underneath the post, and John had none of that.
That was a close one. But about the rivalries, I think we're going to see some rivalries, brew up here soon within the coming weeks for sure.
Trev, Meat Sail, shoots over the net high and wide, just barely missing. I think John got a piece of it. Back out to Meat Sail, works his way into the slot, tried to cut back, but Trev read that well.
We got a yard sale by the right circle. I don't know if somebody blew a tire or if there was a big collision during that play.
Car off the side of the net. John jumping up in the air, able to get that away.
Risky little play there. The puck in a really dangerous spot. Sometimes it's hard for the goalie to make a play when the puck's just kind of awkwardly sitting on the side there.
Carr takes it through center, bodied off the puck by Trev, and Calabasas will take it into the offensive zone. Glenn chips it to himself, and it's sent in deep by DeBeasy after he stripped Glenn. Carr up the wall, too hot for Chad, and Trev takes over. With Glenn backdoor, Trev lost the handle, and he gets it back.
The
Trev
Beavers,
now taken away by Meat Sail.
Beavers really came alive there, but this game's still proving to be really, really close. Both teams only 3 shots on goal so far.
A lot more of an even matchup, as you would expect. I don't think the Camel Crushers liked how they played in Game 1, and they're able to get some answer back for the second game as the second period winded down. And I've liked what I've seen from both of these teams so far. They're playing a lot slower game. The Albany Beavers really came out flying in Game 1, but they haven't really been that fast in this matchup.
Yeah, for sure. With the Camel Crushers, though, aside from, not putting the puck in the twine, a good response by them after losing in that game, only 2-0, but they kind of got beat down, especially with the shots on goal, allowing over 10 shots on goal in that game.
This is DeBeasy sending it in deep across for Carr. Carr with Meat Sail at the line, tries to send it back to him, but Glenn read that, and he gets it ahead to Mike. Mike storming into the zone, mishandles it. Gets it back, but Chad is able to break that up again. And Meat Sail's working over Mike. But Mike's able to break that up and steal it from Meat Sail.
Nice pressure by Mike. As I said one time before, he is a big body, and he's got a big stick, and he plays like it.
Forecheck is a big part in this game.
Yeah.
And Mike's able to show just how far you can take it, especially against some of the best players in the world. Carr racing in. And it's broken up by Trev again. Trev has been outstanding defensively. Drafted
Very
first
good.
overall, as I mentioned, number 16 for the Camel Crushers. And he's been playing this defense. He's been playing a very great defensive style for the Camel Crushers.
Yeah, absolutely. And, people, when they hear his name, sometimes they think about just the silky mitts, but really, he's an all-around player, and he's really showing that off in this contest.
He's shown such an understanding of the game, such a complete game on both sides of the puck. And I can't wait to see him play next season and every game from now on out. Carr. Out in front. It hops through the defender and right onto the stick of Meat Sail. But Mike is able to strip that and get it back in deep for Glenn. As we have 3:15 left in the third period of Game 2. Game 1 resulted in an Albany Beavers 2-0 win in regulation. And Trev's looking to get some points for his team. Glenn misplayed it. Frog T can't catch up. Meat Sale stopped again by John. He mishandled it and fanned on the first shot. Got a second look and still couldn't bury it.
Yeah, made that save a little easier for John. A good save nonetheless, but the puck he mishandles it, bobbles to his feet a little bit, and it delays his shot. Oh, look at this.
Mishandled by Yeesh. She tried to sprawl back into the crease, but Glenn couldn't get it on target with a yawning cage.
Yeesh gotta be careful there, buddy. He lucks out. Puck, I think maybe goes through the blue paint, but he was just out a little too far on that one.
Carr looking for another chance there. Couldn't handle it. And it's 2:20 left in the third period. Nothing game. Chad gets it out for the Albany Beavers.
Well, I know it's early,
taken away by Glenn.
I know it's early, but could you imagine an overtime between these two teams with how this is going? We could be here a while.
No doubt this is by far one of the most even matchups I've seen. You know, back and forth hockey is going both ways. Both teams have had great looks and both teams have been great defensively.
Yeah, aside from that little hiccup, I think Yeesh has really stepped up in this game too to match John.
DIV towards the net, and the Camel Crushers they're content to jam-pack their crease once anybody gets a look there. And it's proven to be a really effective strategy. You know, the Vancouver Frost Giants of the second division have been able to show their commanding defensive play throughout this entire season as they're in second place. Meat Sale over the net, you don't see that often. He usually, every time he misses the net, it's usually hitting the post.
Yeah, wow, great read by Meat Sale to find the open ice. And as you said, a rare miscue for him to miss the net like that, but a great chance.
Looking to get that back. And Meat Sale starts out at center, carrying it over the line from the left circle. Tries to center it for Carr, who is parked in the slot. No pun intended. And it's poked out to the line. Frog T kept in by Chad. Trev racing after it, sends it behind the net. Final 45 of this second game. And overtime looms as we're deadlocked at 2. Frog T chips it up the right side for Glenn through his stick, taken away by Meat Sale. He doesn't want overtime. He wants 3 points. Meat Sale down the
Look
slot.
out.
Scores!
My goodness. You gotta be kidding me with that.
How does this guy do it? Weaving and wobbling through the defense. And he rips it low blocker on John, who's come up big again in this game. That was an absolutely fantastic shot. And now the Camel Crushers need anything they can get. They have 25 seconds to tie this game.
Yeah, I can't say much about that goal. That was just flat out incredible. How does he do that? How does he get away with that walking down the slot? That is unreal. And, oh, look out again.
Another chance that was stopped by John. Glenn tries to get it out. DeBeezy keeps it in. Trev isn't going to have anything here. 3, 2, 1. The Beavers complete the sweep. They get 2 back-to-back shutouts. And Yeesh comes up big. John comes up big. But there can only be one winner. And this time it's the Beavers. They get the 2-0 win in Game 1 and a 1-0 win in Game 2.
Well, back-to-back wins, or should I say back-to-back shutouts, that is the story for the night, in my opinion. John has got to be, Yeesh, right? He's my number 1. I think they're tied, honestly. The 2 goalies played really well. For John, he just wasn't able to get the dubs, unfortunately. But a great goalie performance by Yeesh.
Now, if you're on the Camel Crushers, you think a change is in order. They've dropped, what? It looks like, I'm looking at the stat sheet now. They've only won 1 of their last 8 games played.
Yeah, that's rough.
So a change might be in order for this roster. You may want to keep your eyes peeled for that. They only have 3 wins this season. And the Albany Beavers continue to just be absolutely fantastic. 23 points. Now they have 29 as they pick up all 6 tonight. And they're 9-1-0-2.
Incredible performance by them. Poor John. He played so well. Just, wasn't enough. I thought, his defense could be a little better in those contests. And it did tighten up by the time we got to that second game. They were much better. But it still just wasn't enough in the end.
It is a heartbreaking finish for John. There's so much of this season left, and if you're the Camel Crushers, I really think you just have to have belief in the locker room. They have a talented team. They can play around it, and I think really they just need to start playing for their goaltender.
Yeah. I mean, they have a really, as you said, a really talented roster. It could get going. You could see a splash or two, though, in the trade market with this team. Speaking of trades, this stream is unofficially brought to you by the Ramport Trade Breaker. I don't know if you can see that, partner, but I put it on the screen. That's my claim to fame. You can go there for all the biggest trade news in the PHL and other PHL news.
And speaking of Ren, we have the Bloomington Wild and the Halifax Hooks game live on the Puck Hockey League channel. Ren is in the booth currently for that broadcast. If you would be so kind as to continue your journey through the Puck Hockey League tonight and head on over to that channel. As for the Puck Hockey League on the Puck Hockey League 2 channel, it was my pleasure. I'm Jack with Log. We brought you the Calabasas Camel Crushers and the Albany Beavers game tonight. The Albany Beavers completed the sweep with 2 back-to-back shutouts. And we thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good night from the Puck Hockey League.